All right, guys, we're back, and the fantasy segment is here. It's going to be our first really in-depth segment
Playoffs.
with playoffs coming up. So we're going to do this for the next 4 weeks. We have one more for most of the leagues, one more week of the regular season, and then we'll have two playoffs, and then the chip. So you get 4 weeks of us going through a couple players. Right now, our segments are 3 defenses to start, right? 3 defenses to start, 3 quarterbacks to start and sit, and then we're going to do 3 flex positions, running back / receivers, to sit and also start. So we're going to start off here with quarterbacks to start. I'm handling this one. Muller's got 3 quarterbacks to sit and defense.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way I went about this, I kind of excluded like the regular starters, like Josh Allen, Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for a streaming option or you're stuck between like a Matt Stafford and a Derek Carr or something like that where you're not really sure who to start, hopefully this will help you. Maybe these guys are on the wire, maybe not. Probably not, but this is what I think. So number 1, I'm going to go with quarterbacks to start. I'm going to go through 3 and why they should be in the lineup. First one's going to be Russell Wilson. So right now, the last 5 games, 4 of those games, he's actually rushed over 8 times for 30 yards or more, and also has 2 touchdowns while rushing. So they're actually, again, they're in the hunt, and they're going against the Chargers, which have the worst pass defense in the league. It's a divisional game, and I think now where they're at, they believe in Sean Payton. Everyone's believing in Russ. The receivers are believing that they can also. They got to play hard. They got to get that playoff spot. So, again, against the Chargers, I don't see the defense doing much. I think Russ has finally gotten back to his old form, kind of. But I think he's an easy start, and I think you should be confident starting him. So, any debunk from that?
No. I mean, everyone knows how much I thought he was a dead person.
We all
in
did.
the ground, done.
We all did.
Hills
yeah.
in Colorado.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm back in. Let's ride, Broncos Nation.
Definitely. So if you got Russ sitting there, I think you give him the start because it's
especially if you can go pick up Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, Courtland Sutton
he's probably
too.
picked up at this point. But if you play in one of the dumbest leagues you could possibly play in, you can get both of them. I mean, that's a free 50 every week.
So right now I'm going to look up the availability for Courtland Sutton. He is available in about 3% of leagues. So get on that.
Good luck with that one.
Get on there right now.
Good luck with it. If you have Courtland Sutton, you should be getting Russell Wilson.
Yes. So he's probably available in like 8 to 10 man leagues. They're probably loaded already, but with Tank Dell injured, I wouldn't be opposed to starting him. My number 2, and we're fans of him. They were just on a bye, and it's Josh Dobbs. I think the crazy stat, by the way. So he's had over 30 attempts passing in every game but one this season. He's had a rushing touchdown in every game with the Vikings besides one game, and that was last week or 2 weeks ago before the bye. They play the Raiders, who are somewhat dysfunctional. They could put him through hell, I guess, but I'm going to take, just based off his rushing ability, I think you should start him, especially off a bye week with possibly JJ coming back, which is massive for Josh Dobbs.
I love this one. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. I love this one because when you look at who they're playing, Cincinnati's bleeding points. Detroit, they love a high-scoring game. And then you got Green Bay, which is going to be a huge game for them. And it's home. It'll be in the Dome, so it's not like he's going out there playing in the cold. For the rest of the season, I kind of like Josh Dobbs.
Me too.
Especially with the stats you just told me, how he's thrown the ball 30 times.
Yep.
I love that.
And, dude, he's had a rushing touchdown every single game with the Vikings.
Yeah.
That's one guy you just kind of set and forget it. Like people will probably have a better quarterback, but like if you're a 5 or 6 seed going into the playoffs and you have guys like Justin Herbert or Justin Fields or someone who's got better stats overall, but maybe has a tough matchup.
Yeah.
And the Vikings right now are in the playoffs. Yeah. Like I think he has to excel. So
the rushes and the rushing touchdowns
and
make up for the fact that he's averaging 2 turnovers a game.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. You're getting probably -2 points for a pick. Like it doesn't matter. He's gonna rush. He's gonna keep completing passes. And with Justin Jefferson back, yeah, I think you lock him in.
And just like you said, Justin Jefferson's back, and I do still love this, but we have to remember that he has now learned the playbook. Different quarterback when he knows the playbook.
Yep. True. So start him with confidence. And then my last one here, this one was kind of tough because I know how much we love them. The only thing that scares me is the last time they played each other, and it's not in a dome. There's just little stupid shit that just sticks with me. But I'm going to go Jared Goff here. I think, especially after last week.
Oh, let's get into this one because let me tell you, I have him. He's on my list.
Yeah.
I have him to sit.
Well, that's why I mentioned I wasn't really that confident. Mm-hmm. But based off what I saw last week, especially from the Lions players like Amon-Ra, Gibbs, I think we see a comeback. And I also think with the Packers playing how they are, the Vikings playing how they are, they're up 3 games. You can't forget that. But, dude, they still have a chance to get the 1 seed. They're 9-3 right now. The Birds are 10-2. You know Dan Campbell. I mean, they almost lost to the Bears, but he's thrown 2 touchdowns in 4 straight games. And the Bears have allowed the 10th most fantasy points per game to quarterbacks this season. Yeah. I think hopefully he can withstand the cold and the Bears Stadium. I mean, we've seen that. I saw the Panthers pretty much do it on a Thursday night game, but the Bears, again, like, we don't want to talk about it, and really it's not really a factor, but they're in tank mode, bro. Like, they're looking for that second first-round pick to be a haul. So I wouldn't count out Jared Goff as having a really good game because the Bears are kind of a shit show right now. So it could be a high-scoring game. Amon-Ra is going to come back. Laporta will be how he is, and there's going to be a lot of throwing. So I think you start Jared Goff this week. If you really don't have anybody else, if you have another quarterback, again, like Derek Carr or just some shitty guy that you don't want to start him and let him go from there.
So I guess we should just pick up right there. My first sit-in is Jared Goff. Now, I have reasons behind it.
This is terrible for our mortal, by the way.
Oh, it's
this
horrible.
Is so bad for our mortal. Like, Gassy, I'm sorry that we just, like, coincidentally picked him. But what are you going to do, I guess?
His numbers, they fluctuate so much that I just don't see him as a reliable quarterback going down the stretch. Yes, he's capable of putting up 27 points. He's done it this year. He's capable of getting to the 20-point mark. But at the same time, he's had a number of games where he's only gotten 13 or lower. And he's gone 2 games without an interception, which for him is kind of a miracle, which means over the next couple of games, I could see him heavily in the turnover department. And I'm just worried that that's going to happen. Now, I do think that offense is explosive. And like you said, he's easily someone that you could start and trust. But for me, I'm just looking at who he's playing. If you pick him up and he's your starter, Chicago, okay. But it's at Chicago. It's going to be cold. Can he play outside the dome and make it happen? Because if you look at his schedule here, in cold weather scenarios, when he's away, it's not good. Mm-hmm. At Green Bay, 11 points.
Yeah.
At Kansas City, 14 points. At Baltimore, 9. And then Green Bay again, but they were home, 18. So I'm worried for him. And then he goes to Denver, who has, over the last couple of weeks, been the defense that has gotten the most takeaways.
Yeah, well, again.
So I'm worried.
This is only for this week now.
I'm looking at it like if you're going to pick up this guy and make him your starter, you're making an investment like the Jets did in Zach Wilson.
Absolutely. No.
And he's playing Denver, Minnesota, then Dallas. Mm-hmm. So you better have someone lined up behind him if you're thinking of starting him.
For sure, yeah. And the thing is, like, you can even put him on the list next week. Like, you can continue with the same player.
He's going to be on the list every week, I think.
Yeah, I just think
besides Minnesota.
I just think right now, I see, based off the last game where they actually almost lost and he had a bunch of garbage time stuff, like this is a game of importance for them more so the Bears. The Bears, they don't have to win this game. Will they play hard? Yeah, they will. They'll try and spoil it. But I think we see a lot of passing between Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Laporta. And is it scary? Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he's third on my list. But just
Now,
be careful. Take what you want from
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad start. I'm expecting at least 15 to 20. Like 15 is the floor. I think he can maybe snag around
13.
22 to 25.
13.
So that's what I think. But I like it though. That's
Take me
one
under.
where it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
So I'm going to go from the. So I have the most confidence in Jared Goff to do well.
To do shit.
Like, out of the three, I think
Oh,
Jared
okay,
Goff will
gotcha.
do the best of the three.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, so now number 2, Geno Smith. I like Geno. I'm a Geno guy. I know he just put up buckets on the Cowboys, but that defense had a bad week. Ball security is an issue for him. There's no way that O-line plays that good again. He's going to have pressure on him. You saw it at the end of the game. They got tired, and then Micah Parsons took over, and that last play was pitiful. Last play was pitiful by him. And upcoming games, he's got the 49ers, Eagles, Titans, Steelers. That's a gauntlet of defenses. I know the Titans aren't that good, but Vrabel's going to get that team going. If Geno Smith is your only quarterback, I would highly recommend looking for someone else possibly. Go get Browning. At least you know that he's going to just throw the ball deep every time to chase. Like, you're going to get points out of him. Geno Smith, there's a possibility that he could put up 8. He's going to get you positive points because he's willing to run a little bit, but he could put up 8 points, I think. And 49ers could have a field day against him.
At the Niners too.
Yeah. And then you have
agreed.
And then you look at 2 weeks down the line. All right, well, Eagles just lost to the Niners bad. If they come out and get blown out by the Cowboys, that team is going to be so hungry in Philadelphia that could be an ugly game as well for them.
It's a very what I'm looking at Geno's numbers here. They're kind of all over the place. Like he'll have 41 pass attempts, then he'll have 20, then he'll have 37, and he'll have 27, then he'll have 28, then he'll have 47. Like it's especially on a team at San Francisco. The last time he got it was 8 points. Like usually you think, okay, bounce back, whatever. Mm-hmm. Am I going to say that it's not important for them? Like it is important for them because they're in the hunt 6-6, and a win will get them in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
But this is too tough of a game, man. Like
in
San Francisco, will he get the garbage time looks? Yeah, he will. But I wouldn't bank on it.
Don't be blinded by this last week.
Yeah.
Just don't be blinded by it.
I agree there, 100%.
And then last one, I think this is going to be one that you're going to have a little pushback with, and I think a lot of people will. But I'm just going based off of this team's offensive production over the last couple of weeks. The fact I don't believe in their offensive coordinator. Never have, never will. They're playing the Broncos, and then they got the Raiders. Justin Herbert, yes, he's capable of putting together that massive game, but I don't think right now this team is capable of it. Eckler looks old. You got Kellen Moore calling one of the worst offenses in the league. They only put up 6 points against the Patriots last week, and the Patriots might be the worst team in the NFL. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you can't do that. I would be very worried for Justin Herbert owners.
I'm starting him regardless.
Well, yes, I know,
Yeah.
but that's why I said this is one of the most controversial ones
Agreed.
because the name will you're going to give that name about 10 extra weeks than you should. But if I'm looking at his production over against teams that are good, it's not good. After the bye week, he has only touched 20 points against a good team one time.
I think with Herbert, again, this is what you got to keep in consideration is like where they're at in the situation they're in to get into the playoffs. Like they're not technically out. Like they're 4-7.
They're not.
And you're looking at teams that are in the wild card who are 6-6. Mm-hmm. The rest of their schedule, I mean, they could beat Denver. They play the Raiders. Then they play the Bills and then Denver again.
I'm not saying they can't beat them, Mike.
No, for sure. But as a quarterback play, yes, that makes sense. But I just think what I'm looking at here, every single time that he's had a really bad game, for example, he had 12 against KC, he had 24 against the Bears. He had 7 against the Jets. He had 29 against Detroit. Then he had 7 against Baltimore. 14 against Baltimore.
13.
13. Okay, yeah, same thing. He had 8 against the Patriots. Now, I definitely
that's
see,
2 bad weeks in a row.
Agreed. But I absolutely see a bounce back in a crucial game against Denver, whose secondary has looked a little off recently. So even though they're playing their hearts out,
They're getting turnovers, Mike.
they are getting turnovers. But this is a top 5 quarterback, and I think
yeah.
you gotta start him.
I-
But your numbers
I'm
are
just
fair.
saying-
Your numbers are fair, dude.
I'm just saying, there's options out there, especially if you're in a 10-man league. There's a quarterback out there. Like, you could go get, I guarantee, Matt Stafford right now, and there's no Puka this week, but he's someone that I would look at as maybe starting.
Mhm.
Only because now he's just going to focus in on one person, and I don't know why, but the Rams are one of the only teams in the NFL that if they have less wide receivers, they somehow do better.
Is Puka not playing? He's hurt.
I thought he wasn't playing.
He has a chance to play this week.
Okay,
but
so
I
he
think
does.
Most likely he'll be out a week.
All right, so if they have 2 wide receivers healthy, I would say stay away from Matt Stafford. If one of them is playing, all in on Matt Stafford.
All right.
For some reason, when he has less options, he does way better.
Okay.
I think it's a Detroit thing.
Well, I think so good. I think we can move on to that because we'll go to my flexes now, which I have, and a flexes start is Cooper Kupp for that exact reason.
Yes.
Because they are the only team that focus on one player like they should.
It's crazy.
Like they should. And I love Puka, and I love what he's doing. He's a very likable guy throughout the whole league. But all this bullshit on Cooper Kupp, he downgrade him to a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2. Like, bro, we're talking about Cooper Kupp here. Like, this might be his last year or last 2 years where he's efficient and putting up crazy numbers. But, dude, who else is he going to throw to? Tyler Higbee? Yeah, he's got Kyron, but, bro, Cooper Kupp is still him, bro. Like, has he been underwhelming? A little bit, but his last 2 weeks he's actually been better and has delivered decent numbers.
Are we sure he's even healthy?
He's definitely fighting injury, but he
that's
looks
fine.
healthier.
He's just going to get healthier and healthier every week.
He looks healthier, and the thing is with him, he's one of those guys where he's gonna get you, like he's gonna get at least 8 to 10 targets a game.
Yep.
This is one of them.
Yep.
He's going because what does Stafford do when he plays a good team and he's got to get the ball out quick? Who is he looking for? He's looking for Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. So enough of the blasphemy about Kupp isn't him anymore and I should sit him or even think about it. Dude, he's a must start. Yep. He is a must start receiver. Mm-hmm. Throw Cooper Kupp in your lineup. Don't even think twice about it. Seriously, don't. It's not worth it. So that was my number 3 guy, but I'm still very confident in it. Here's one that I think is very interesting. Rashee Rice. Gassy, I know you're a fan of him.
Yes.
Must start. Must start. You start him until he gives you a 2-point game.
Yeah.
And he's not going to do that because the last 2 games he's seen a total of 19 targets, 16 of them being caught, 171 yards, and a touchdown. We know that no other receiver there is doing anything besides Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. You're starting him with confidence off a loss. He could be a guy that you have him on your bench and you got a Tank Dell injury or you got someone you're not confident in. That could be a league winner for you.
Yeah, it's crazy to me how we're going to say this comment right now. He's a bright spot in an offense that has nothing, and the Chiefs are one of the better offenses in the league.
Yeah,
they're horrible. The wide receivers are horrible.
Yeah,
but he's good. I like him.
He is the only one that's worthy of being on that team and actually being a good receiver.
Yes.
Like this, but that's the beauty of having a guy like Travis Kelce on your team is because guess who's getting all the focus between your linebackers who are going to key in on him. You run a smart play where you're actually getting Rashee Rice to go behind the linebackers in the middle of the field. Dude, he's been electric, man. And I think you see now Patrick Mahomes is starting to trust him a lot because now he's got him and he's got Kelce, obviously he already trusts. But to have a guy like Rashee Rice putting up the numbers that he has, I think that's a nice sneaky start right there.
Yeah.
And then if you have anything on that, you kind of agree with that?
No, yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
Okay, my last one was probably going to be a head scratcher. I'm going to go D-Hop. I'm gonna go D-Hop here.
Now, I agree with you, but I want to hear what you say first.
So it's real. I mean, there really was. I was trying to find his or like just his numbers on primetime games, like Thursday nights, Monday nights, Sunday nights. I couldn't really find much. It was very tough to find that information. But against the Dolphins secondary, and the fact that him and Levis were kind of going at it shows that they want to be competitive and they want to win. And who else do they have? Like Kyle Phillips, Westbrook, Ikine, Treylon Burks. I don't know what's up with him. Like Derrick Henry's hurt, should be able to play, but I think D-Hop in a primetime game against Miami secondary, who again they lost Jalen Phillips. He's a DN, I know, but Xavier Howard, we haven't heard anything about him. Jalen Ramsey had that one pick in the one game. They're gonna sling it. What do they got to lose? So start D-Hop. Why not?
And I actually, that was one of the reasons why I thought the Titans were a favorable pick this week, because of them fighting. I love that they're both fiery. They're both coming at each other saying we gotta be better. Like Will Levis, honestly, he might be someone that you look at starting this week solely because he's gonna have a fire in him, and D-Hop and him are becoming close.
I thought about it.
I think they're friends. We all know D-Hop moved there because he wanted to be on the retirement team and live in Nashville. Well, now he's found a friend there. This could be the start of a beautiful thing. They might save Vrabel's career together.
Real quick, like I feel like Will Levis, I think it's a long way to go for him.
Yeah.
But I think it's bright for him as well.
Well, it's like definitely brighter now. He got back with that girl.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, it'd be bright for anybody. I'll tell you that. But I don't know, man. Like I know he got a lot of hate, and I wasn't really a fan of him. But what I'm seeing is, I wouldn't say promise, but it's you're seeing flashes.
It's better than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, you're seeing flashes, and again, they got a lot of players that are kind of old. They're a little bit dysfunctional.
Jesus.
But I think that's a guy who you look for value, and having that big game on a primetime night. So primetime games are different, man. They just are. This is why I take the Thursday night games. They're not like your regular Sunday 1:00 game. You're under the bright lights. Shit just happens. So if you're really risky, start Will Levis. If you have nobody else, and start D-Hop. I think you start him with confidence. And then we're going to do my 3 to sit, and then we'll move to defense, I guess.
Yeah.
So flex to sit, Steelers receivers. Don't start them.
Don't start anyone.
Don't start any of their
Horrible.
receivers.
Mr. Trubisky doesn't know how to play football.
Yep. I think that's not even a debate. Patriots have allowed a total of 26 points for the last 3 games. Trubisky starting. Pat's defense is the only thing they got going for them. And we all know about the Steelers' offense, so there's no disagreements there. I think that's very simple.
What's the stats? Patriots are the first team to lose 3 games in a row when they allowed 10 points or fewer, something like that.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Listen, Belichick still has a difference on the defense, so he still has an impact.
Good for him.
So to sit them, again, they got Trubisky. Maybe he'll do something, but I don't think you're getting a lot of points from him. Number 2. We're going to go Chris Godwin. I know he's been Mr. Consistent for a while, but he is not anymore Mr. Consistent because the last 5 games he has under 10 fantasy points. It's time to cut the cord. Yeah. I know a lot of players and a lot of fantasy players are like Chris Godwin, I'm waiting for that to happen. The first 5 weeks he had double-digit points. It's just not – it's not it. Baker clearly favors Mike Evans. Like Mike Evans is his guy, and the Bucs will continue to run the ball. They like Rachaad White. So will Chris Godwin have a game here and there where he scores 20, 15? Yeah, probably will, but I wouldn't bank on it. Mm-hmm. And I guess my last one might stir up a little controversy, Adam Thielen. The reason why I picked this was because I just feel like the juice is running out.
Yeah.
And
he's an elder.
He had 20 fantasy points against the Saints back in week 2, but I think everybody knows now that he is the only guy to cover. So Saints, again, look at the division. Like, they're 1 game out of hosting a playoff game. It's a must-win. They know what they have to do, and they got to take away Bryce Young's literally his only target.
Yes.
So sit him and don't even think twice about it. And those are my picks.
I like them. Those were good. Those were good. Yeah. Literally, I don't think we disagreed on any.
I think the Jared Goff one was the only one, but yeah, I mean
defenses.
And defenses. Real quick, Gassy, do you have anything that you agree with, disagree with?
I have a defense if we want to get into that.
Oh, yeah, good one.
This week, you got to start the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Yeah.
That's probably on your list. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be.
Just delete that one.
I saw recently, I think they're the number 5 overall defense, which was probably shocking to a lot of people this year. And I mean, with the matchup they have against New England, that putrid offense, I mean, if they're on your waiver wire for some reason, you're going to get them. You're starting them.
It's just and it's so funny because you look at this game, and this is why like I was kind of stuck on that primetime pick. Is because they both have no offense. They both have great defenses. The over-under is 30.5. Like, I see that. You know what I'm doing. I'm rocking with it. Like, I'm not, 30's nothing. Like, I'm taking the over. Like, I'm going to fucking take a risk. I'm going under. It's simple.
Well, I love that one. So I actually picked. I had 4. That was one of them.
Good.
That one was a gimme, I think, especially after on last show we talked about the moral. But I have 3 now. Also, I'm going to start with this one, the Eagles. Because one thing about defenses is you don't want to waste your waiver wire pick on a defense. You know, like you only get one chance at getting that first player. You don't want to waste it on that. So if you can go get one of these defenses I picked, the rest of the season you're good. Eagles defense. After this Cowboys game, I don't think there's a team that can really put up numbers against them. They have the Seahawks, the Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Cowboys are really the only. Seahawks, yeah, maybe. They have weapons, but it's one of those things where I don't see them do, especially because if the Eagles lose, like I said earlier, I don't think that they get many points against the Eagles. Do we agree?
They're definitely buckling up, especially now because people are on their ass.
Yeah.
Are they going to come back hungry? Yes, I think they will. I'm not expecting like a double-digit point outing from that, but for the future, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I mean.
Like if you want to sacrifice this week, like sure, but again,
Yeah.
it's the last game of the regular season. Just be if you're very
if you're
confident
if you're
of
gonna
the
make
Birds.
if you already made the playoffs, I think the Birds are a great option for you to clear that up, because the games that they have coming up, that easily could have maybe, depending on what your league is, you could have anywhere between, if you have a crazy one, you could have 15 points to 20 points, or you could, if you have a low ball one, you could have like 8.
It's funny with
But
fantasy,
you're going to get points.
It's funny with fantasy football because I feel like some games that you play, it all comes down to your kicker and your defense.
It
Like,
is.
That's
It
what
is.
happened with my match with Greg. He started the Cowboys defense. They gave him -1 points. I started the Jags. I had like 3, and then Trevor like just barely beat him for me. Like shit like that actually matters. Like that's what wins games. Like if you have a kicker that puts up 18 points, like
Dude, recurring guest Mike Curdy, him and I agreed to go no kickers the 1 week because we didn't want to drop our kickers. They were both on a bye. And you know how many points he lost by? 2. That
Yeah.
kicker on the Dolphins would have done it, but
just out of respect.
out of respect for the competition, you know?
And the Eagles are available. They're only
a-
rostered 72% of leagues.
They're going to be available for a bunch of people.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. For the future in the
Yeah.
playoffs, agreed. No doubt.
And now these are also 2 other future ones for the rest of the season, because this division, I don't know if anyone's heard of this division, but the NFC South, they're really bad at football, right? Saints and the Falcons, I'm just going to group them together. If you can go get either of those defenses, both of them play the Panthers, both of them got the Bucks, and then they have each other. One of the Falcons play the Bears and the Colts. The Saints got the Giants and the Rams as their other games. Tell me which game they're facing a great offense that's going to put up 40. There is none. They're playing all the teams that they're going to play could easily put up 6 points in a game. Easily. Especially for the Saints. I think the Saints could honestly lock down the rest of the season if they really wanted to. Only one that's iffy is really the Rams for me.
I actually agree with that because the Falcons, I don't know if you guys know this, but they have like their red zone defense is wild. And they also have Jesse Bates, who of course I wanted for the Jets badly. He has been a pick six machine. No one talks about him at all. He's been a pick machine, a pick six machine. They have Calais Campbell. They have two really good linebackers that no one talks about. AJ Terrell. Like, they're not a bad defense at all.
No, everyone
And with
wants
the
to,
games that they play in the future,
yeah,
agreed.
like, everyone looks at this division and they're like, wow, I don't want anything from that division. No, the defenses are what you want because these teams are so bad. Like, go get the defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Man. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love it. I love it.
Like, sometimes you just got to reverse psychology yourself into a win. And that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, so I love the segment. I think it's very important. I think I was going to say next time maybe like waiver wire pickups, but I don't know. It's just kind of
We'll
obvious.
figure it out.
But no, I like it. I think it was good. I
Yeah.
think what we'll do is we'll monitor all of those players and defenses, and we'll see if we're right. And if we were wrong, we will explain why. But
It's going to be hilarious when
I'll make
every
sure
defense gets shredded this week.
Muller, you monitor your players and defenses. I'll monitor my players, and we will go from there. But good segment. Like it.
All right.
Make sure to clip a bunch there.
Yeah.
But that being said, guys, let's have another good week. Playoffs coming up, and thanks for tuning in.